Hey guys, so today we're looking at this really cool gadget, and I think this is a true gadget, like a like a penknife, right? A gadget that can do many different things. And just looking at this picture, you can see here that it looks like a lot of things all bundled into one cool little gadget. So what we have here pretty much is as it says here, a solar hand crank emergency light. And in addition to that, there's also a 10,000 milliampere hour lithium polymer rechargeable battery in here. And you can use that battery obviously to charge devices like smartphones and stuff, right? And as you can see, there's a flashlight here. There seems to be a flashlight there. But it also looks like a handy radio, and that's exactly what it is. It does have AM/FM radio as well. And I think there's also a built-in compass, but this is something for campers or people who just need something that can provide you with radio and light if there's a power cut, right? So this is really cool to have for emergencies, and everyone should have something like this actually, because all of us do have experienced. We have all experienced power cuts at some time or the other, and especially if you live in the hurricane belt, the hurricanes, you get it, right? So this is what I found here on Amazon, and I decided, hey, this looks really cool, let's check it out. So if I take it out of the box here, you can see a USB cable that's dropped out, charging cable. And yes, I did open it before, that's why it looks all messy inside. And this is what it looks like. It does have a little bit of weight to it because it does have that 10,000 milliampere hour battery in it. And it does come with some sort of manual here. Tells you about all the features, I guess. All right. Some diagrams, and so it does come with AM/FM radio, and the weight is about half a kilogram or 1.1 pounds or 500 grams. And solar power, it's a 5 volt 0.3 watt solar cell, right? So that's a solar panel, which is above here. We're gonna look at that in a second. That's a solar panel. So that solar panel is it pushes out 5 volts and 0.3 watts. And the hand crank, so it has a hand crank, and the hand crank can be used to provide, power to your flashlight as well as to your radio, right? And it also, I would assume, if you keep turning it, it will charge your built-in battery as well. Now that is a 5 volt, that gives out 5 volts at 1.5 watts. Now there is a USB input and a USB output port, and the LED flashlight has a fire beam, it has a dipped beam, and there's a mixed beam. The fire beam is 600 lux, the dipped beam is 150 lux, and the mixed beam here is 700 lux. So it's pretty bright. And the radio, so after fully charged, the device supports 90 hours of radio, which is great. That's like, let me see, just over 3 days, right? Three and a half days, going into 4 days actually. Nearly 4 days, yeah. And then we have the radio LED. So if you have the LEDs on, right, i.e. the flashlight and the radio, you get 30 hours of combined radio and LED lighting. And then if you have the reading lamp, right, which is this thing at the top, and we're going to look at that in a second. On the real thing, this is the reading lamp, that's the flashlight. So the radio alone gives you 90 hours. You get 90 hours of radio. Radio and flashlight, you get 30 hours combined. And then, radio and LED light is 30 hours. And then radio and flashlight, you get a total of 8 hours, because this is more powerful. It draws more power. But not to worry, if you run out of power, you can just turn the crank. Right, so let's look at the actual device now. So of course we have our trusty, this is our trusty charging cable, obviously USB, and I think that's USB Type C on this end, and then the older USB on this side, I think USB 2.x. And here's the radio. Oh, I shouldn't say the radio. Here's the complex gadget, or I call it the Swiss Army knife of emergency gadgets. Now it does have this protective film on here. Take that off. So you have FM, AM, and oh, there's also a weather band as well, which is ideal. So this is great if you are, listening in on if you're stuck because there's a storm, a hurricane, or tornado warning. So you have the weather band, AM and FM, and here we have our radio on-off switch with the volume, and this is our tuner. And then here's where you can select. If you go right here, just look at it closely, right? FM, AM, weather band. This is your on-off switch with the volume. And
then the Chargers would take a Georgia wide receiver.
So right now I have it on a sports channel.
Which is a great name, but my favorite name of the draft got picked next.
So I turn that off. And then this obviously is a tuner. We can tune. So let me just turn it on and show you what it's like to tune it. But before we do that, right here at the top, we do have an antenna, just in case you're wondering. It's in there pretty tight. And just use this to unhook it. It's in there pretty tight. There you go. It's new, right? So it's going to be there pretty tight. So that's the antenna. So if the antenna, this is how far it extends. Let's measure it. I do have a measuring thing here. When I measure the antenna, we're looking at roughly 11.5 inches fully extended. Yeah, that's fully. And let me measure it from this angle so you can see. We're looking at about an 11.5 inch antenna reach. All right, so that's that. Let me just bring it back down. Now let's look again at this. So here we have our speaker. Here's our on-off switch with the built-in volume.
And they use it very much when it comes to the Western medicine.
So let me just slow that down, and then here's our tuner. Let me just tune.
Ontario has one of the highest tax rates in the country. À ce moment-là, ben, le tartan sous toutes ses formes et le kit plus spécifiquement.
So that's the AM station, AM channel. Let's go to FM.
Brianna is in Orange, California. She gave says God has been coming.
United with him.
And when you get a good signal, this comes up, the green light comes off the tune. And what I like too about this is, so let me just turn down the volume. So right here we have the battery level, so it's fully charged, and you actually see the battery level when I actually adjust the volume or tune. It comes up, right? So the battery level comes up, and then when I don't turn the knobs, after a while, that battery indicator is going to disappear. And that's ideal because what you want to do is conserve energy. You don't want to keep lights on unnecessarily or LEDs unnecessarily, right? So that's the AM, FM, and then the weather band. Let's see if we can pick up anything here. So there's a French channel there. Yeah, that's definitely the weather channel in French. I picked up on that one. Is there anything in English? Okay, so that's the weather channel. So I'm going to just turn it off. So you get that, right? You understand the dials here and everything. So obviously I did charge this up through conventional methods. And by conventional methods, using the USB and plugging into on here. So back here is, and it's actually water protected. There's a cover here that I'm going to take off, a rubber cover. So this can definitely be used outdoors, obviously in the rain. And here we have a couple of ports and some switches as well. And if I zoom in right here, you can see them right there, right? So what I'm going to do, let me just check and see what these all mean. Obviously I see a USB port or two there, but let's see in the manual here what those actually are for. We obviously know that USB Type-C is for charging, and the USB port then that's for charging the battery, and then the USB port itself is for actually charging devices. So let's see what it says here. So we have this top one is a flashlight button. Then we have a reading light button. And then we have the SOS button. And the small one is USB input for charging, and the big one is USB output for charging cell phones and small electronics. So what they're saying here is, if I come here, if I was to keep this closed, right, because you don't have to open this to turn on the flashlights or to turn on the reading light or the SOS button. But if you want to know that, this button here is the flashlight button. This middle button here is the reading light button. And this button at the bottom, that's your SOS button, right? And that's the SOS for the flashing, right? Your lights will flash SOS. I show that in a second. I think it's 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. Anyway, we will see that in a second. And then here, that's your USB input. So obviously you would connect this into here, right? And then you'll connect this into a power source like your laptop or a mobile phone charger. Plug it into the wall, you can charge your built-in 10,000 milliampere hour battery. And then when it's charged, you can use the battery in here to actually charge smart cell phones. So let me give you a demonstration. You can use the same cable here. So if I want to charge my phone, I open this panel, plug my USB cable in here to that port, right, the one at the bottom here, this one. Let me show you again, just in case you couldn't see. This one I plug it into. Yeah. Plug this in here. And as you can see, it's charging, right? So you can leave it to charge, and it's 10,000 milliampere hour battery. Sorry, keep that in mind. Right, so the other features of this pretty cool gadget, as I said, these buttons here you can access through, you can actually close this rubber door to keep the moisture out, right? Because this can be used outdoors. And you can access your buttons here, right? So if I press this button here, it turns on our flashlight, nice and bright. And if I don't press that, press it again, I have a wider beam. You have these two here. So if I press it again, you get all 3. So if I press, so there's 3 modes. One mode, you get the this middle lamp lighting up. I press it again, I get the 2 other ones lighting up, kind of brighter, as you can see. And when I press the 3rd time, the outside ones and the inside one is also lit. So this is your brightest setting. All right. So 1, look at the wall, 1, 2, and 3. And then this one in the middle here is our reading lamp. So let me just take off this Velcro cake carry case. All right, which comes in handy. You can hang this on the back of your backpack or whatever. But here along the top, we have a built-in compass right here. I think mine, I might need to adjust mine. Let me see if it comes out. So here we have our compass. So right here on the top, we have our built-in compass. And here we have our solar panel that is can be used to trickle charge your built-in battery. And also provide power to your radio and lamp, right? So when it's left outdoors. So when you lift it up, here we have a reading lamp, which is really nicely built in. So that's pretty cool, right? So on one side you have your solar panel, and here you have a reading lamp, and that's the middle button here. If I press that, that's a reading lamp, right? And it comes in handy for reading at night. You can close it down. and it's still on, I believe. Is it on when I close it down? Yeah, it's still on, but you turn it on and off with this button here. All right, and then obviously the last button at the bottom, this button at the bottom is our SOS. So as you can see, we do have the SOS flash, right? 3 short, 3 long, 3 short bursts. And we have that loud pitch sound. So this comes in very handy for, I guess, that loud sound is to get people's attention. It can even scare, like I'm sure if there's like a scary animal approaching you, you can just press this button because it's pretty loud. That's impressive. That's nice. So let's look at the features again. SOS button that we saw. We have our built-in reading lamp, which is right here. Right, you can turn it off. On this side, we have a charging solar panel. Let me take off this wrapping material here. And that solar panel is used to charge your built-in 10,000 milliampere hour battery, which can be used to charge devices. And I'm going to show that again here. You just plug in your USB cable to this port here, and then you can charge your devices. And that's the charging right there. See, so you can charge. Right, so we looked at that. And of course the other this USB type C port is for actually charging the built-in battery. So I had to switch around the cable, plug that into this end. I plug this into a cell phone charger, plug it into the wall, or which you can plug into the wall, or I plug this directly into a USB port like on a computer or back of the TV, something that has live 5.0 volt power, which is just any pretty much USB port, and you can charge your battery, right? And if you're out in the wilderness and you don't have access to power over a long time, because I know with solar panels, especially this is pretty small, the charging won't be that. You have to charge it for a long time. But this panel can also, as you saw in the manual, actually just power your radio and provide power to your radio and your LED flashlight as well, and reading light, right, over time. So obviously you have to keep this in the sun for a while. But hey, you have solar charging capabilities on this. So that's that. We looked at the flashlight. We looked at the powerful SOS feature. We have the reading light. And of course you have AM and FM. And what I love about that, you don't just have AM and FM, you also have a weather band. So you can listen to weather channels. So this is ideal for if you're, again, living in the hurricane belt or in the tornado alley, wherever, right, where you want to just listen to weather to know when it's safe to go back home and stuff like that. And of course, you know, the added, what I love is that there's also a compass built in as well. And, and then I forgot to show you one more feature. So of course, this is the speaker, but you know, we talked about 2 power sources, right? There's 3. So the first one we talked about was the built-in 10,000 milliampere hour battery. Second way is to use the solar panel to charge the battery and provide power to your radio and your lamp. But then there's also the hand crank. Why not use kinetic energy? You just turn this, right? And you can provide power to your gadget. You can provide power and charge up your... So if I keep turning this, I'm going to keep charging my built-in battery, right? And I will have power for my radio and for my lamp, right? So you can use this as well, this way to charge your device as well. So 3 power sources, all in this cute little device. And it's small and compact, as you can see. From a measurement perspective, we measure the antenna, right, which is 11.5 inches. But the device itself, it's about around 6.5 inches long. Maybe let's zoom in here, right here. 6.5 inches long, roughly. And then it's roughly, you know, keeping the handles in check, you have about just under 3.5 inches long. And then wide, you're looking at about just under 2.5 inches. All right, but it's really small and compact. You can hold it in your hand as a flashlight, and you can have it sitting down like there, have your reading light up, and you can read, right, in the dark. This is really good. So guys, this I think is the ultimate gadget that pretty much everybody should have one of these. Everybody should. Because in the event of a power outage, and you know, when you have the conventional radios that use these things called batteries, these die, and when they're dead, that's it, right? And we live in the age now of rechargeable batteries and really cool LED technology, and now you have, you know, a really compact survival tool. And guys, if you really want to get your hands on this, or you want to learn more about this particular product, you can check the link below this video and go at it and get yourself one of these. These make great gifts as well, and surprise surprise, they're very affordable. I can't remember how much I got this for, but it's not expensive. But I can tell you one thing: I've been out camping with this, and this thing is invaluable, right? I'll just leave it at that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments about this cool device. And yes, it does come in other colors as well. I think it comes in orange, bright red. There's quite a few. Yellow, army green, you name it. But yeah, check in the link below and you can get more information on this cool, nifty gadget with Velcro handle and a USB cable. Right here, guys. Okay, happy gaming, stay safe, bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Now, if you liked this video and you liked it, I appreciate it, thank you very much. And if you subscribe to my channel, I'm appreciative of that as well, so thank you very much. So listen, there's going to be a lot more content coming out this year and beyond. I plan to be doing quite a few different types of reviews, and I'm also starting to do giveaways now, finally. So that being said, happy gaming and stay safe. Bye bye.